The psychological impact of uncontrolled anger. Everyone feels anger. But what we do with that anger, that defines who we are. Anger can make us say things we regret, hurt those we love, and even push people away. This is a story about a boy, a board, and the lasting marks of emotion we leave behind. It's a story you'll never forget. Once, in a small village nestled between green hills and winding rivers, there lived a young boy named Denny. He was bright, curious, and full of life, but he had one flaw. He lost his temper very easily. He would get angry over the smallest things. If someone borrowed his pencil without asking, he'd yell. If he didn't win a game, he'd throw the pieces in frustration. If his sister accidentally spilled juice on his homework, he'd shout and slam the door. His parents tried to talk to him, calm him down, reason with him. But Denny didn't listen. One evening, after another outburst at the dinner table, Denny's father quietly stood up and walked into the shed. He came back with a small sack of nails, a hammer, and a large wooden board. He placed it against the outer wall of their home. "Denny," he said, "every time you lose your temper, I want you to come here and hammer a nail into this board." "But why?" Denny asked, confused. "Just do it. You'll understand later." The next day, Denny got angry at a friend for beating him in a race. He ran straight to the board and hammered in a nail. That afternoon, he snapped at his mother for not letting him watch TV. Another nail. By the end of the week, the board had over 30 nails. It wasn't long before the board was nearly covered. It looked like a battlefield, tiny silver heads poking out like reminders of every angry word, every harsh look. Denny looked at it in disbelief. "I didn't know I got angry this much," he whispered. When he showed his father gave him a new instruction. "From now on," he said, "every time you feel angry, but you manage to control it, you may pull one nail out." It was a hard task. One morning, Denny's sister broke his toy. He clenched his fists, but said nothing. Later that day, his friend teased him, but instead of shouting, he walked away. For each moment he chose peace over fury. He got to remove a nail. Some days he removed 3. Other days, none at all. There were days he failed and had to hammer in another nail again. But slowly, nail by nail, the board began to empty. Weeks passed, then months, until finally, one sunny morning, Denny stood before the board, and it was clear. He ran to his father, joy shining in his eyes. "Father, look! I did it! Every nail is gone!" His father walked outside, stood before the board, and placed a hand on his son's shoulder. "You've done well, my son. You've learned to master your anger. But now, look at the board." Denny looked, really looked. Though the nails were gone, the board was scarred with holes. Deep, ugly marks remained where each nail had once been. His father spoke softly. "This board," he said, "is like the hearts of people around you. When you lash out in anger, it's like hammering a nail into their heart. Yes, you may apologize, they may forgive you. But just like this board, the mark remains. A harsh word can be forgiven," he continued, "but its sting is not always forgotten. You may never know how deep your words cut, or how long someone carries that wound. That's why we must learn to pause, breathe, and choose kindness. Not because we don't feel anger, but because we care about the people we love." Denny stood in silence, looking at the board. In that moment, he didn't just see a piece of wood. He saw every face he had hurt, every friend he pushed away, every tear he caused. He never forgot that lesson. From that day onward, Denny still felt anger sometimes, but he never let it control him again. We all say things we don't mean when we're angry, but words, unlike objects, can't be taken back. They pierce deeper than nails, and while wounds may heal, scars can remain. Learning to control your anger is not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally wise. The moral is, each time you act in anger, you hammer a nail into someone's heart. Apologies may remove the nail, but the hole remains. Think before you strike. Choose kindness before anger. The people around you are not wooden boards, they're hearts.